Hey, we are back with the Deeva Show. This is Deeva Gordon from DEU with the Deeva Show. How is everybody doing on this rainy day? Like I said, I do apologize. I had almost like a half an hour of technical difficulty that was going on. Um, so I do apologize, but welcome back to the Deeva Show. I am here every second and fourth Thursday, rain or shine. And here we go. We're talking about quite a few different things. I mentioned that this weekend we had a production meeting that is going absolutely phenomenal. And I just wanted to say that there's been quite a few of you that have reached out in reference to possible opportunities for casting for Witness. But I just want to let you know that Witness is a part of one of the productions that my production company, DEU Productions LLC, is a part of. That's only one of the projects that we have. And while I appreciate and I love the interest that you have in Witness, and that's all well and fine. And who knows, anything can happen. But we do have some other screening projects that are on deck. We have an episodic project, Faces of Life, that is currently being casted as well. We're working on that one as well. So by all means, send your resume and your headshot or reel to divaentertainment@gmail.com. That's DEE, V as in Victor, A, entertainment@gmail.com. I just want to say shout out to one of my close friends, Yolanda Johnson Young, who now, although she's had her film debuted in the American Black Film Festival, quite a few in Baltimore, New York. She was on radio in New York. All of these different locations that also she has coming up. Finding Elijah is going to be debuted at the Philadelphia Film Society. So look for that, Yolanda Johnson Young, Finding Elijah. It's a very touching story. It has a very important message delivered through the film. And I hope that you take the time to check out the Philadelphia Film Society so that you can check out Yolanda Johnson Young's film. And real quick, I just want to give a major shout out to my future son-in-law. I know he's probably going to kill me for saying this on the air. I'm not going to give his whole government, but Daniel, his car was one of the cars that has been selected to show in a showroom at the Philadelphia Auto Show, at the car show. So looking forward to enjoying that this weekend. And it just goes to show you, and a lot of people say, oh, I'm bored. I don't know how to be bored. Some people take the word bored out of context when they don't like something that they're involved in the show. They don't like it. Not necessarily they're bored. It's just that they're not entertained. But I don't know how one can be bored. And I want to take y'all back to what I was talking about, the vision board. In the beginning of the year, putting it actively into motion. What are you doing with your vision board? What are you doing with your hopes, with your dreams? Are you just getting up every day and making someone else's dreams come true? Think about that. Yes, I do have a base job, but I follow my dreams. Are you getting up every day and you preparing and getting ready for your dreams or for someone else's dreams? Are you coming and punching somebody else's clock, or are you building a clock of your own that, people will have to clock in to give you time? So I just want to say one should never be bored. There's always something to do. And in this day and age, it's so many different ways of making money with your hopes and your dreams. Before it was kind of like limited, but now you can go and you could become a business owner by purchasing things and selling them on different networks. And I just got to say, I'm sorry, I had to take a break. I got my hot tea. I'm trying to keep myself from getting sick. As so many people ill due to the weather. Weather is not really helping us out at all because it is just so wet and damp. It chills you to the bone, and down with it being cold, it just doesn't help. But getting back to when I was talking about bored, people being bored. I don't know how that happens, especially as an entrepreneur. But if you have a dream or a hope, do some investigating and take the time to try to push forward to make it happen. Venture out, ask as many questions as possible. Uh, I decided to come out of my box not that long ago, and I started doing some things differently, and things are happening differently. I'm not running in that circle. I'm not on that mouse's spin wheel as I used to be with certain things. And I'm just going to say that take the time to investigate people, take the time to reach out to people. And if anything, one of the things my father always said to me, the most that they can say to you is no. And, that's just like, possibly winning something. Like if you didn't have it, you'll just have what you had before the possibility was there. So, take a chance, people. I'm pretty open. If you ask me a question, if I could steer you in the right direction, I definitely will. Earlier, I opened up the show and I was just talking about how people, I'm just going to say different networks. I'm not going to say people because I don't want anyone to think I'm thinking about anything that's going on locally. I'm just going to say certain networks will run you around in a circle. I'm going to say that. In this business, you need to have thick skin. Make sure that you have that thick skin so that your dreams are not crushed by one response that was not positive. And what I've been running into is more or less people being of their word, and that's the most difficult thing. People being of their word, not so much a door being slammed, but I think too often in these network settings that some people just feel an obligation just to sound bigger than what they are, and then when it's time to be held accountable, they're not in a position to do much of anything. But anyway, I'm just putting it out there, and I'm just letting you know, take the time to build, investigate, push for excellence. You get one life to live, unless we get to come back, and I haven't spoken to anybody that came back yet. So as far as I know, and as far as I'm concerned, we have one life to live. Get the most out of it that you can. Let your obituary be so long that you need a booklet. You know what I mean? And I'm just, I'm being sarcastic. But what I'm saying is take the time to get the bite out of life. Take the time to do your investigating. Don't allow anyone to deter you from your dreams. Make sure that you keep pushing forward, have a plan A, plan B, and like I said, double up the alphabet and make sure that you always keep presenting opportunities for yourself. Couple of other things that I did want to talk about. I did talk about DEU. I talked about witness. I talked about the opportunities with DEU. Take advantage of a lot of things that we have readily available within the city for filmmakers. A lot of times we look for the big wigs and we are not focusing on the fact that we have major opportunities in our local area. With that being said, I guess I can name drop, but there's a lot of investigating that you need to do to dig into that. Take the time to do it. Google is amazing. I'm not sure if I was experiencing the technical difficulties when I was talking about the classes that are being held. I know many of you are aware and some of you are unaware, but Mr. Melvin Williams is part of the production team for Witness, and him being a part of the production team, I'm not sure if you're aware, Mr. Mel Williams worked at Freedom Theater, Creative and Performing Arts, Franklin Learning Center, and Link in New York, coaching, teaching, acting for many, many years, and he has worked with some greats in the industry. He's a part of my production. I feel blessed for him to be a part of my production because he is my mentor who taught me from the age of 14. However, I just wanted to mention that he will be holding classes in Philadelphia beginning March the 22nd at Aiken-X. They have partnered to bring this special class to you. So if you want to take a master's class, then you can check out my page because I just recently posted it, Deeva Gordon, on Facebook, or you could check out Mr. Mel Williams' page as well. And I think on Instagram it's the best director, which I'm going to say he's absolutely awesome. So I went into a lot of different things. I guess I did some commercializing, as you would say, but I'm going to backtrack and talk about these vision boards that we have invested in. We are just about a month and a half into the year. What have you done concrete? What have you done so far to make your dreams come true? What have you done? And even if it's not a dream, even if it's something that's really important that you needed to conquer and you need to take care of, what have you done to push forward towards it? Have you started the process to move forward to what you need to handle, what you need to do? Are you making your vision board active? Meaning you're not just taking pictures and posting them up there, but you're taking pictures, you're making phone calls, you're setting up meetings and things like that to get closer to your goal. Are you doing that? Have you done any of that? And if you haven't, you need to get started. You really need to get started because you'll look up and it'll be June. Half of the year will be gone and you still have not accomplished your goal. What is keeping you from accomplishing your goal? So I talked a lot about industry, and now we're going to talk about inspiration. What is keeping you from accomplishing your goal? What is keeping you from getting started? Some people is just getting out of bed. On days like this, rainy days like this, I can understand it's difficult. But what are you doing to push yourself closer to your goal? If it just means making a phone call, have you made that phone call? Have you listed the different things that you need to do to accomplish at least one of those goals? What's keeping you from starting this list? You know, a lot of times we don't realize that we are in the way of our success. I'm going to say it again. A lot of times we don't understand that we are in the way of our success. And, you know, I was talking about this the other day, and I talk about it with you all the time. Sacrifice, well, success comes along with sacrifice. You know, there are many times I wanted to go on vacation. There's many times I wanted to go check out a movie. Many times I wanted to go to a show. Quite a few of you that are on my page, I will repost the show, the advertisement, but you may or may not see my face. It's not because I don't want to be there, but I'm sacrificing. I know some people say, well, all you have to do is just pay for a ticket. Sometimes it's not about the time. Sometimes it's about money. If I got a production and I have to pay people, I can't very well say, well, I can't pay you because I had to go to this show. So I love y'all to death, but sometimes it's a part of my sacrifice when I know what I have on my plate, what I'm trying to do for my company, and everything. I mean, everything costs money. So you have to ask yourself, What are you sacrificing, and are you sacrificing enough? You know, people say that they want to be successful in this business, but then I can't mention the event's name, but then they make their way, make it important, and make their way to attend concerts 2 hours away from their home, get a hotel to stay in that hotel, to give somebody money that already got money, and you trying to get your business off the ground. For my actors and for my actresses, you know, do your homework or where you can get work. You know what I mean? A lot of people like film work, some people like theater work, but you got to go on those major, like, get yourself out there. Don't just stay within the circle of Philadelphia. Venture out there, audition other places, become a part of other projects. Some people don't, you know, when it comes to being on stage, they don't want to be a part of musicals. But I'm going to say this: being a part of a musical actually forces you, in a lot of ways, to remove you from the stage. And I'm just going to say, think about it. It gives you an opportunity to remove you from the stage. And what I mean by that is there's certain mannerisms that you have that people put into their character that's just like them. You know, they play themselves on stage. But if you are forced to become some kind of animal, or if you're forced to do a dance routine or something of that nature, then you are completely off the table and you are forced to create, which is major and which is important. And when you become adaptable like that, then you're able to adapt to other characters outside of your normal persona of what you have. And that's when you start to become proficient at what you do as far as acting. You're recreating reality of the character that they have in the production. So I'm just saying, like, you know, for our actors, you say you want to make it and you want to get out there or what have you, stop choosing safe projects. Stop choosing things that, you know, boom, I can do that off the back of my, you know, right off the bat. It's not going to take any skill. If it doesn't take any skill and it doesn't take any time, then you need to move on to something else that's going to challenge you to up your skills. So when you do become a part of a network, you don't become a part of what they call typecast, where they only put you in certain acts, you know, because they know what you're going to, they already know what you're going to do, and they know what your limitations are and your capabilities are. Tackling and challenging characters that are out of your norm is a way to help you to grow. I like giving my actors opposites of who they are. So I give them an opportunity to create it, but it stretches them. I have to say one of my favorite, and I am biased, oh well. I'm going to say one of my favorite is Lord, I Prayed, and that was Kyson Martin. Kyson A. Martin was in that one, and he played, his role was a blind man coming back home from the war. But he wasn't blind when he left. He was blind when he came back, but he had a household. And his responsibility was to take care of his household, but it was difficult because he had multiple surgeries and he couldn't get his eyesight back. And he was dealing with PTSD at the same time. So I'm just saying all of that and giving you, you know, part of the character is that majority of the time when someone is asked to play a blind person on stage, they're asked to play with glasses on. I asked him, do not wear the glasses. I need you to adapt to the character. And he did a phenomenal job. He had a run on a couple of runs on Philly Cam. So what I'm saying is, those of you that are actors out there, you got on your vision board that you want to be a part of this network, you want to be a part of that network, you want to be able to audition here and audition there. A lot of you Do your homework. Find out how to get representation. How do you get an agent? How do you get somebody to back you and get you into these different rooms that you need to be in so that you can possibly get an audition in these different, with these different networks to be a part of these different shows? Some of you don't even think about getting an agent. All you think about is, if I get an agent, my agent is going to take most of my money. But the thing is that, and I'm not saying I'm pro or con, I'm just telling you some of the, benefits that you do have of having an agent, is that they get you on projects to make money, as to where you negotiate the contract, you may or may not get it, but having an agent represent you, the networks look at your work a little differently. And I'm just going to say that they look at your work a little differently, because an agent is willing to invest their time and energy into seeking employment for you. So it's just a lot that goes along with that. So I'm giving out a lot of, advice, a lot of inspiration. If you have a vision board, take the time to actually make it an active vision board instead of just something you're looking at. Make it an active vision board that is tangible, workable. Make a list of things that you need to do and that you can do to get you closer to your goal. Make sure that your goal is something that, you don't want to put in there, I want to win an Oscar by the end of the year. Well, in reality, there's a lot of homework that has to be done when you are, shooting for an Oscar. First and foremost, you have to, some of you are SAG and some of you are not SAG. Push to get SAG. Call them. Find out what you have to do in order for you to become SAG. Quite often people come to me and say, well, Deeva, I'm not SAG. How do I become SAG? But you're an actor. Why don't you know these things? If you are trying to further your career, if you're serious about your career, why don't you know these things? You should know what you need to do to become SAG-AFTRA union. You should know what you need to do in order to audition for SAG projects, things of that nature. How do you find SAG projects? Do you know anything about the Greater Philadelphia Film Office? Do you know anything about the Philadelphia Film Society? There are so many different avenues and places where you can go to educate yourself. How many of you, and I'm just going to put this out there, and I'm just spitting it out there, how many of you are aware of film.org? I'm not even going to tell you what it is. I'm going to say it again, film.org. That's something that many of you should be aware of. Like, boom, off the bat. It shouldn't be like, wait, what's that? So, again, homework, research, do an outline of each one of your goals. Get a notebook. I don't care if you're 30, 32, 22. Get a book. Write down everything that you need to do in order to accomplish your goal, so that you could just start marking them off. Marking them off. I'm telling you, the feeling that you have when you have accomplished these things and you're able to mark this stuff off is phenomenal. It's such a feeling of accomplishment, and that you're not wasting time. If you're going to be a successful actor, take the time to learn your material. Develop a nuance of your character. Channel 6 came out and on Sunday, and they videotaped the meeting. It was monumental for me. It was very important to me. This meeting was very, very important, of course, because I'm getting ready for my production. However, I know some ask, how did that happen? Do your homework. Some things are not as complicated as they may seem. Um, you have to make sure that you get yourself out there. You have to make sure that you remain relevant. You have to, the more those are aware of you, the more familiar they get with you, the more interested they become in you. Um, think about that. And I'm just putting it out there. Think about that. And I'm not saying that the more that you're seen on Facebook or your postings and stuff that you post on Facebook, no. The more that you make your presence known in the industry, the more they recognize you and the more that they want to get to know you. And I'm just putting it out there. That's whether you're an actor, writer, director, producer, filmmaker, cinematographer, whether you're holding a lighting. If every time they turn around, they looking at you and they see you and you holding the lighting. First, it was like, oh, okay, they holding the lighting. Next time they see you on another project and you hold the lighting, be like, hey, didn't I see you on the other project? And the next time they see you, hey, how you doing? Y'all shaking hands and giving, the little brief hugs. I'm just giving you all a little bit of gems. You got to push yourself out there. You got to challenge yourself out there, so that you will have opportunities available to you. Opportunities are not going to fall in your lap. Not all of your opportunities are going to be accomplished by you being in your friend's play. Not all of your dreams and hopes are going to be accomplished by being in your aunt's film. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not taking anything from my own life experience. I'm just saying that, period, we have to look outside the box and start making our lists and crossing them off as we accomplish them. There's so many different things. And I went into the acting because that's what I do, filmmaking and things like that. That's another thing. Jack of all trades, master of none. Make up in your mind, if you're going to do more than one thing, make up in your mind the time that you have available to devote to those things to make them all successful. If you cannot successfully do all, then you need to subtract something. Because if you have multiple avenues in the industry and you're trying to get your niche in somewhere, you have to narrow things down. Now, you have to narrow things down. Reason being is because you'll look like you're all over the place. Something is going to hurt. We all have, special talents and things that we do, but and I'm going to be honest with you. I had to change some things myself. For instance, when I first, my entertainment background goes back to, I was like, yay, high. And I looked at my resume one time, not that long ago, and I had some of the stuff that was, I didn't go in detail about the things that I did at that young age. Excuse me. At a young age. But I shouldn't even have been speaking about that. I should have just been speaking about, everything I did as an adult. But I'm saying that to say is that growing up, I did dance. I was in tap. I was in ballet. I was in jazz. All the way up, throughout my years. And then, I was a singer. I actually played every woodwind instrument that there is, including the bassoon. I played the oboe. I played the bass. I played the cello, the flute. The only thing I did not play was the piano. I played an alto sax, like all of these different instruments that I played. I was in drama, which I did musicals. We did My Fair Lady. We did Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Uh, on from that, because I was in a musical, we did singing. We did Grease. We did so many different musicals. And when I became a teenager, I was still into acting, and that's when I met Mel Williams. But I was also a vocal major, so I sang, and I still sing. I can still sing. I can still dance. I may not be able to do that whole leg extension thing, but I can still dance. But I can do a leg extension, but maybe not as high as many of them. But I'm just saying, I have all of those background talents, but I'm not going in the industry with all of those talents all at one time. You know, and some people try to enter, oh, I know how to sing, I know how to dance, and I know how to do this, and that's all well and fine, but you have to choose like a meat part of you that you are damn good at, that promote your flavors along with it while you're in it. You know, I realized that my niche, I'm a writer, and I can produce, and I'm a damn good director. So I'm just going to say I'm a filmmaker because that encompasses those three right there. I'm going to work on the editing part of it because I like to be, you know, in tune and capable of doing all that stuff. So I'm just saying I like to be able to do a lot of things on my own if need be. But I'm saying all of that to say is while I have all of these different talents, I'm not going in the industry and saying to people, okay, yeah, I'm a director, a singer, a dancer, a writer, and da 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 da. Because people will look and be like, well, how are you capable of doing all of these things at once? Now, like I said, you don't take them away, you know. I do dance, it's my freedom. I do love to dance. I do that on my own time. Singing, you know, I sing in church, but I sing in the shower and I sing at home, and I sing to make myself feel good, um, keep my skill set live. But and I, of course, acting is like my second nature. But I'm a filmmaker. When it comes to your career, you have to choose something concrete. For instance, if I introduce myself saying, oh yeah, I sing, I act, I do this, I do that. I don't mind jumping on stage and act. That's not a problem. I can do that. But what I'm saying is if I say, oh, I'm a singer and I'm a dancer and da da da, and they turn around and say, okay, well, I need you to do some pirouettes over, you know, across the floor for me for an audition. Wait, I haven't done pirouettes in like 5 years, but you just told me you was a dancer. Okay, next. Example. So what I'm saying is get your meat and potatoes of what you are damn good at and push that, and let the other talents that you have be flavors. I say talents and slash, I'm sorry, my God, they're gifts. They're gifts from God. So get the meat and potatoes of what you do and push that. Take them other 10 things off of your business card. You know, if it's not something that you've done in the past 2 years and done effectively and made good money at it, people are very interested in what you can do and what you can do great, not in what you've done before. Like I've danced before, but I'm not going on nobody's dance audition nowhere, no how, you know. Vocal audition, I don't want to be on stage singing. You know, that's not where I'm at. I was in a group years ago, and you know, we did some traveling and things. Shout out to Lonnie, shout out to Camille, Edwards, Yolanda Johnson Young. We were in our own little musical vocal group, and we did some things. But I'm not gonna call them up and be like, hey, y'all want to go on this vocal audition? Now, mind you, all of us can still sing, but we ain't been in the studio and doing all of this stuff. Now I know Camille, she's still doing the doggone thing, but I'm just saying we have not really been in there working. So push forward your best foot with what you do consistently. every day and what you do well. Don't come with the whole basket. Take a couple of things out of that basket. Just adjust it so that people can take you seriously. I had to get that together because I mean I had a business card and I had on there like almost everything that I did, and when I did that, it kind of deterred people. Like, okay, but we're looking for this one particular thing. How good is she at this one thing? If she can do all of this, something else is suffering. So I don't know if I want to take a chance on that because I don't know how well she does this because she does so many things at one time. So I'm just saying, I'm putting it out there to you all. You pay attention to that as well. Now, if you want to, be hired in all of these other aspects, then you might want to title some things a little differently to give them an idea of that, so that they'll have an umbrella thought process when they think of you. And what I mean by an umbrella thought process is they know you come with a lot. And there are some people that do come with a lot. I don't want to take that from you, but I'm just saying, put your best of what you consistently do and what you consistently do well. Put that first, and the other stuff, like sprinkle, pepper it in. Pepper it in. If you're an actor, don't come with saying, "Oh, I dance a little bit too." Now, if you are a dancer that can act and you got your stuff together, you going for a musical? Oh, by all means, like jump in there. And I'm not saying it's not good to have all that you do up front. It's just I'm saying just make sure that one is relevant. Make sure two that you are proficient at what you're telling them that you're capable of, and it's not something that you used to do years ago and you might be able to do if they give you an opportunity. No, make sure that it's something that you do, because if they give you the opportunity and you haven't done it in a while, you want to bomb. And when you when you bomb in auditions, it doesn't stay in that room. And I'm just saying that when you bomb in an audition, it does not stay just in that room. So keep that in mind when you tell people that you're capable and you're able of doing different things. So I've been doing a lot of talking about quite a few things. This is Deeva Gordon. I am on Sador Radio with the Deeva Show. I am here every second and fourth Thursday from 12 noon until 2 p.m. We're talking about some things. I have a special guest, two special guests that's going to be lined up for my next show. I didn't do much advertising on this show. I've been crazy busy. So I dropped the ball. I'm going to admit it. I dropped the ball with communicating and advertising and letting people know what was going on with the Deeva Show. So I do sincerely apologize for that. But I am here. I will be here every second and fourth Thursday from 12 noon until 2 p.m. You can tune in and check me out on Sador Radio. Get this. We got the app. Sador Radio app. So all you have to do is go into your Google Play Store. I'm an Android user, so I say your Google Play Store. There is another way of obtaining the app with iPhone, but I'm not really familiar with this software. So make sure that you figure out how to get your apps and get the Sador Radio app. That way you can listen to the show like wherever you are. You know what I mean? We were talking about, logging in and locking down, and some people wasn't able to find it on their phone and this, that, and the other way. You can find it now. You can find it now. SadorRadio.com you can go to as well. But go to your app store and do Sador Radio, and you'll be able to pull up Sador Radio. You'll be able to download the app, and you'll be able to listen to us anywhere you are. So I'm getting ready to take a quick break, and I'm going to come back with my exit and information. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties in the beginning of the show where you weren't able to hear me. It's all fixed. Now I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to come back on the other side. We're going to wrap up the show. Talk about a couple more things. All right. So this is Deeva Gordon. with the Deeva Show. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, I'm going to shut down for a moment, but I'm going to bring it right back up to do my exit. And for those of you that are listening on the radio, I got a little Luther for you, just taking you back just a little bit, and I'll be back on the other side. This is Deeva Gordon with Sador Radio.